Hong Kong is made up of two main areas, Hong Kong Island and Kowloon, and 262 outlying islands, covering more than 1,100 square kilometres. The majority of the 7 million population live on just 15% of the land area. That means, for instance, that Hong Kong Island is 6 times more densely populated than Frankfurt in Germany. In moving those millions of people around, government and private companies have provided no shortage of ways to get around the city. There are over 730 footbridges, a network of trams, trains, taxis, buses, minibuses and ferries.
Well, not only is there lots of choice, when they do something, they do it big. If you want to move pedestrians around quickly, don't just shout at them to run. Put them on this. It is the longest escalator in the world, rising some 800 metres. In fact, a staggering 90% of journeys are taken on public transport, and that means they are moving some 12 million passenger journeys every single day.
Because they make car ownership expensive and you can rely on public transport, car ownership is low, with only 56 private cars per 1,000 people. That's less than half the rate of ownership in Singapore and a fifth of the rate of Japan. Nevertheless, roadside pollution is still a major problem.
Well, this is one of 14 air monitoring stations throughout Hong Kong measuring pollution in the air, and very kindly Professor Anthony Hedley has joined me here in the middle of the road to explain actually what is going on. Just when you look at pollution levels and how bad they are, just how bad are they right at this point?
Well, they're very bad indeed. If we looked at other comparable world cities, those jurisdictions with a similar GDP per capita, then we would have to say that this is one of the most polluted environments on the planet. The pollution levels, particularly at the roadside, are astronomical. There's no other way to describe it, and very damaging to health.
This is the Hedley Index, isn't it? What you measure, it actually costs in US dollars, the pollution here. How does that work?
Well, we take a feed from the Environmental Protection Department's monitors, and we then apply our health risk estimates, which we've been calculating over many years, to the current levels of pollution, and the system transforms that into an attributable number of doctor visits, hospital admissions and deaths.
So what is the cost? I mean, this is a live figure, so it's changing all the time. So the cost of pollution in Hong Kong in money terms is what?
Well, it's 10 past 10 in the morning, so since midnight we estimate it's cost over 300,000 US dollars.
So that's 0.3 of a million US dollars.
Yes.
Just show me the pollution levels. So this is live pollution data coming from that monitoring station now.
It is indeed, and right now the particulates, we call them PM10 fraction, they're running at about 80 micrograms per cubic meter, so that is about 300% above the World Health Organization annual guidelines. We have nitrogen dioxide running at 175 micrograms per cubic meter. The annual limit for safer air quality is about 40.
So what, if anything, could the world learn from your experiences in Hong Kong?
Well, I suppose as a medical practitioner I would say that whereas economic success is protective to health and does reduce outcomes like infant mortality, on the other hand, if we don't have adequate environmental regulation, then you're going to poison the population.
Although Professor Hedley is sceptical that action is being taken quickly enough, the Hong Kong government does have a plan. That plan is to cut carbon emissions by half by the year 2020. Dr. Kitty Poon is the Undersecretary for the Environment.
We have to revamp the electricity power generation structure. That is to say, to switch from coal-based power generation to more cleaner fuels in Hong Kong. The second thing we have to do is to revamp the transportation sector.
Is it the role of government alone, you think, to put in the infrastructure like charging points for electronic vehicles?
Well, of course, I think the government should take lead, but providing the charging points is also a opportunity, business opportunities for private companies. So we, in Hong Kong, we have a government taking the lead while we invite the private companies to join us. And I see there are business opportunities for them down the road.
So this can be seen not as a cost of business, but a whole new market for them.
Of course, when the drivers drive their electric cars to find a place to park, they will obviously go to the shopping malls that provide the charging points for them. So here is a customer, additional customer for that particular shopping mall developer.
Yes. If I came back to Hong Kong in 10 years' time, how different do you think the transport structure and pollution would be here?
We aim to have 35% of cars, either hybrid or electric vehicles in Hong Kong.
That would be a massive change.
It will be revamped, the transport sector will be revamped.